All right, so are we live?
I'm pretty sure we're live, brother.
Pretty sure
Shad.
we're
We think we
live.
are. You know, we had to call in.
We
extra
are
help
live,
tonight. Yeah,
right?
we are live. Pretty sure we're live, brother.
I'm pretty sure your volume's loud
I better
too.
turn down my phone.
Right.
I'm watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm here and there at the
Yes.
same time. It's pretty awesome.
Yep.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you have to call in, you know, backups.
What executive producer leaves on the
I don't
season
know.
finale?
I don't know. It's the season finale, and the executive producer's off on the beach somewhere.
God,
Some kind of girls' trip or something like that. I mean, it's just, what kind of commitment?
I walked up into my classroom this morning, and there's still one picture.
Mm-hmm.
3 years ago, I asked for 3 more.
Yeah.
And she just moseyed off to college too.
That's what happens.
Without
man.
doing the
That's what
pictures.
happens.
So,
Well, don't feel bad. There was still dishes in the sink too when
Right.
she left. That's her job at home. So, you know, we're just doing the best we can, Shad. You know,
I get
they
it.
move
I
on.
get it. Yeah.
They leave us
Yeah.
behind.
grow up.
Just grow up, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's been
Yeah.
a tough week. Got my daughter, you know, moved into the dorm, and man, it's been tough.
Yeah.
So, you know, now I'm just left with these 2 boys. at
Not
the
for
house.
Lucas.
Yeah, no.
Has not been tough
Lucas,
for Lucas.
the first thing Lucas did was go clean out everything that was hers out of the shower. Like he went in there and he was like, "Oh, I moved all that stuff out of there. She's gone now." You know, so yeah, he's making this.
Wait till she comes back for it.
Oh yeah, yes. No,
It's in the trash.
He probably did trash it.
Yeah.
So,
That'd be
there's no
good.
telling. But anyway, we want to welcome everybody on the stream.
Right.
And if you just stumbled upon us, and there's these 2 guys just
randomly
talking about their lives.
Next week we start a fantasy football roundup, so this will be really fun.
He's kidding.
Maybe I'll start. A
Maybe
fantasy
you'll
football
start it.
roundup.
That's right. I will
Right.
not be. I won't be here.
I'll bring Joseph in. We'll do.
That's right.
We'll do spreads and
No,
fantasy football.
we're not doing that. We don't do that here. No,
we
no,
don't
no.
do that.
No.
We don't even believe in that anymore at Southern Baptist. We voted that out.
What did we
This
vote
summer.
out?
Remember online sports,
Yeah.
gambling and stuff. We done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm
Southern
glad to
Baptist.
hear that,
Yes.
man. Well,
It's
you know,
outlawed in every church.
we got to keep on, you know, holding the
Right.
torch.
Keep
out
on the
there.
firing
Yeah,
line.
that's right.
right.
Well, you know what they say about Southern Baptists? If we don't have anything to fight about, we'll make
Right.
something up.
Just
we'll
create
We'll
it.
just pick a fight.
Right.
Yeah, that's just part
Right.
of it. Well, anyway, it is good to be with you, and certainly this isn't just going to be completely mindless dribble, you know, the whole time. We are going to read God's word here
We
in
are.
just a couple minutes.
We are. But outside of that,
outside of that, I don't know what we'll be doing, but certainly tonight we want to thank you for being here with us, whether you're watching on Facebook or you're on YouTube. Certainly we would appreciate you liking this, even if you don't, but I mean, hit the like button if you're on YouTube. So
hit the finger down button if you want
Well,
to.
that's true. I guess
Who
they
cares?
can put
You know,
the
at this
thumbs
point,
down.
this is it right now.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is true.
so-
This is true. You know, yes, I got to give a little commentary. You know, yesterday, football season started yesterday. And
yes, it did.
And as much as I enjoyed watching certain teams win, I have to admit, I had a little guilty pleasure there.
Yes, the loss was bigger than any
Yes,
win that
there
occurred
was a
yesterday.
big loss that happened yesterday to the Crimson Tide.
Yes.
They went down. But I do want to mention something.
Rama Jamma, look at
But
Bama.
we were talking about these signs that people give. Thumbs up. There are other signs that people give.
Yes, you
Yes,
saw the
well,
meme, huh?
Yes. There was a looks like a young co-ed, young college boy that whose parents are real proud of him today, I'm
I
sure.
hope his parents aren't listening right now.
Oh, well, maybe they need to listen. I'm gonna tell you, you got to think about the phone call
Right,
that you would have gotten from your mother
right.
if she'd have seen you giving that single finger salute there on.
Well, he's an internet
National.
star now.
He is an internet star.
Yeah, it's like the Michael Jordan crying meme now.
Yeah, it is. It's really
Yeah.
bad.
It will forever.
Oh, it's
Yes.
horrible, man. Well, that's just a reminder. In this world
Right.
that we live in, God is always watching.
Yes,
He
is.
sees
Yes,
all.
he is.
But there's also always someone with a camera.
Right.
And
Right.
so, anyway, that's just that was
Him, the cameras, and the government know everything.
That's right. They know it
Yeah.
all. So,
For our conspiracy people.
hey, whoa, you're gonna get us. They're gonna take us off YouTube.
Yeah, they're
All
listening.
right. Anyway, we'll leave that on. All right. Well, it is good to be here tonight, and certainly we're wrapping things up, and we're just gonna have a good time, just
Yeah.
thinking back over the summer,
Right.
thinking about the church,
Yeah.
and all God's doing here at Emmanuel, and also, of course, all we pray that He will do,
Right.
as we continue to just serve Him and glorify Him. And so, as we get started, as is our custom, Brother Shad, why don't you go ahead and read the scripture you have for us tonight? Tell us a reference. And
All right. So we're going to go to Acts chapter 2 tonight, verses 42 through 47. And thinking in the vein of what we've talked about this summer, I was telling you a while ago that I've had several people talk to me about different episodes during the summer, finding out things about people that have been in the church for a while that they didn't know.
Yeah.
And just figuring those things out. And it's I've even heard it helps them identify
Mm-hmm.
a little more with those people and look at them differently in a lot of ways. So in thinking about that, just kind of what we've seen this summer, what we've talked about, and then what that means in relationship to the Bible, and then what are we doing moving forward.
Absolutely.
And so Acts chapter 2 is speaking of the church beginning, and it goes like this, 42. And they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, the fellowship, to the breaking of bread, and the prayers. And all came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. And all who believed were together and had all things in common, and they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. And day by day, attending the temple together and breaking bread in their homes, they received their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having favor with all the people. And the Lord added to their number day by day those who were being saved. So I think one thing that we're going to do on Wednesday night, we're entering a study on Acts and kind of looking at the church. And so just looking at 42, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching. Now, obviously, there are some apostles still today. They say it on the signs.
Oh, it's on the
sign. Yeah, they say it on the billboards. Yeah, not really.
Saying name.
Yeah, not really. Right, they say it on the sign. Them and their wives, apostles.
Wait, listen.
So
let's reel it in. Let's get back to the scripture.
Enjoy this. All right. So we know when we see apostles teaching, we know we're talking about the Word of God.
Yes.
So they devoted themselves to the Word of God, and orthodoxy, and they were deliberate about that orthodoxy, to the fellowship and the church. They were dedicated to the church. They were dedicated to the breaking of bread. Now, there's some discussion on what this means, but in one fashion or another, they were coming together and they were celebrating what the Lord had done.
Yes.
Kind of no matter which way that you lean on that. And then to the prayers. There was a deeper level of spirituality that they were going into than just sitting around the table and enjoying themselves. Yeah. They were doing that. It was a good time. That they were seeing people come to the Lord. They were getting to know one another. These different cultures are intersecting there in Jerusalem, but there's something deeper going on. And then we see there at the end, praising God and having favor with all people, and the Lord added to their number day by day those who are being saved. Ultimately, just remembering that anything that occurs in the life of our church is a product of the Lord showing favor and doing those things. And so that's what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. And so kind of just recap and then kind of move forward. So, Bro Paul, I don't want to ask you what your favorite moment was.
That's all right.
That kind of like, it's like saying, which one of these were your favorite church members to interview? You don't want to say that as the pastor, but just talk about some moments that have stood out to you over the course of the summer.
Sure. Well, I think one of the things that, as we look back, I mean, with our first live stream back in May was with Brother D.
Right.
And actually he was just kind of our guinea pig, make sure the equipment worked, and everything. And so but he was also coming on staff at that point in time. And it was just a great time. And meeting with him, talking with him, and getting to hear his philosophy or how he looks into God's word, and how he thinks about, how we ought to worship corporately. And both in his conversation. Now, if his in the conversation could have been great, and then if he'd have come here and things would have went bad, well, obviously, that wouldn't be one of my favorite ones.
Right.
But by virtue of
if he was gone by now.
Yeah, if he had already left after pretty much.
We wouldn't be talking about this.
We wouldn't be talking about it. But it's just been so great to see he and Tammy, become part of the church.
Oh, gosh,
And then also just his, in both his song selection and then how he leads us to worship the Lord.
Yes.
It's not a show. It's really, he's choosing songs based on the doctrinal, rightness of the lyrics, and then also choosing songs that we can sing together. Right. He encourages that. And that's just really been a blessing, and just his spirit. So that's been good. But then I think,
and go ahead, your thought.
All right.
In the spirit of the time of year we're in, he's been throwing some touchdowns. Let's not
touchdowns.
Yes.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
He's been throwing some bombs.
We've been singing some bangers.
It's been good.
It's been
good. And not just him. Our pianist, our what do we call it? The clavinova. The singers. We've had some guitar players in and out periodically. The drummer was here today. Like it's been rocking.
Well, you know, that's not really what we're looking
they're
for.
not listening anyway. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Drummer's not listening.
You don't think the drummer's listening?
They haven't listened to anything but the one they were in. So,
now don't say that about our drummer.
So,
all right, he's more than just a musician.
So it's just been it has been really good.
It has been, and I think not necessarily just we're not talking about like really the quality of the musicianship, even though that's great.
Yeah,
they're all striving for excellence, but it's the I think what I appreciate as much as anything, of course, is Brother D's leadership in trying to get us to sing.
Right. That's right.
And so, every time, it's one thing and we've always, and certainly Emmanuel has been a singing church. I always hear those behind me that are singing.
Right.
And it really is corporate worship. We're not just here to listen to a concert. So that's the encouragement.
Yeah.
And so, but anyway, we don't want to spend the whole night talking about the first one.
Move on.
But we'll move on from there. But I think we've had such a good variety.
Right.
I was so blessed by the series that we did on marriage.
Yes.
We met with Kyle and Penny Warner,
right.
and then we met with Ashlyn and Brady Eason, and then James and Janice Sawyer. You went from, this couple's been married 2 years or 3 years.
Right.
And then this couple has been married 67 years.
Right.
And then, kind of in between there, we have Kyle and Penny, but just talking about the ups and downs of marriage and God's glory.
Right.
That we see in that and his just grace given to people. And that was just a blessing. Yep. And even, we went kind of ecumenical, that
we did. We did.
We had our Presbyterian brother.
We did.
All right. He's now off in, Covenant Reformed Seminary.
Man, moving up.
Oh, he's moved up.
Hanging out with Lee and Duncan every day now.
Yeah, he's with Lee and Duncan.
Yeah.
We can say
that
once he was right here. He started out right here on the
We had a biblical scholar.
We did.
Sitting right here on the set.
We did. And that was, I've probably encouraged more people to go back and listen to that, because that's something, certainly as we talk about Bible translation, the dependence, how we can have confidence in the scriptures. Right. He did such a wonderful job on that. And so there's just, and then
the fact that he didn't highlight that there have been other versions that have corrected the Greek and Hebrew. That's really awesome.
I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
But he was, I thought, also very down to earth. He didn't get above our head. So it was a good time. And then just our people. Yeah, different ones that we've had on here.
It's been really cool.
It's been good to see, and so it's really been a good time.
Right.
So
if I go back and think of them, the one that shocked me. Now, don't get mad at me.
Shocked you.
The one that shocked me that I enjoyed a whole lot was Dr. Allen.
Yeah.
Not just that interview, but him coming, spending that week of revival with us. Just kind of watching a man of God that you differ with in some ways, submitting to the authority of the church and really coming and preaching the Bible, benefiting the church, very personable from the get-go on the video, moving forward, So shockingly, that was one of the ones I enjoyed more. My favorite's always going to be Christina. It was more of like the predicting of what was going to happen that I really enjoyed. Because for 2.5 months, actually, you told me I couldn't do it at first. You said, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, you can do it, but I won't be on the premises.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I might sit in my office. And then you were like, I might be in the audience.
Yeah.
And so that afternoon, before anybody showed up, I went ahead and printed you a question and answer sheet. And so,
well, my wife knows me pretty well.
No doubt.
And so she was like, "Oh, well, yeah, I'll do it. I'd love to do it."
Right.
She was excited about it. But then, I was like, "Well, I just don't know if I can be in there and be a part of that." I said, anyway, my nerves. I don't know if I can handle that. And she, well, that's fine, whatever. Then within the week of, she's like, "You really need to do it."
Right.
I'm not gonna do it unless you do it.
Yeah.
So
I would have been fired up if y'all would have called and said this wasn't happening. I would have done my own.
Yeah, you'd have just like, man, just blasted
everybody. And it would have been shoot from the hip the whole hour.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going on now. So I get it.
But there's some benefit to it.
Yeah, that's true.
There's some benefit to it.
Right.
Probably the hardest one for me was James and Janice Sawyer. Like you hear what good marriages look like, and then Miss Janice got on to me a couple of times, and so then you're like, man, you just got so far to go. Luckily, I'm not making it to mine and Whitney's 65th wedding anniversary. No. I'll die long before that.
All right, Lord willing.
I'll die. Lord willing, I will die before that happens. And so, because I'll be like 95.
Well, that's true. I mean, y'all did get.
I don't want to be here, diapers and all. I don't want to do that. So that was a challenging one. I've tried to really kind of look at the way I do some things. And I know people hear me and say they're like, gosh, you shouldn't say that, you know, but like my wife's okay with it. So yeah. So,
well, that's good. That's good. Well, it's been a good summer. It's been a good time. And of course, really looking forward to kind of turning the page.
Yeah.
This next Sunday,
right.
Beginning with our, brother Sherwin coming and kind of doing a short course with us on biblical interpretation.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. I'm excited about that.
So really looking forward to that. And so it's going to be a good time.
Yeah.
He's sort of like our, I think about these folks saying they have a teaching fellow.
Yes, he's our
kind of our
teaching fellow.
He's our teaching fellow.
That is really good.
Yeah, that is what
good.
We're going to call him.
That is good. Yes.
Placard or something.
Yeah, we need to put that on the bottom of something.
Yeah, because that's
teaching fellow.
Yeah, I mean around here, that's about all the recognition he gets.
Right.
We're not putting on apparel, so he can be our teaching fellow.
Yes.
We'll do that.
So let's kind of start in order from where we are.
Yeah.
Right. If we're thinking about what we've seen this summer and kind of our desire in doing what we did this summer was to involve the church more in ministry, the life of the church. This is who's sitting in the pews next to you. This is what's going on in our church. This is what you can be a part of. And so we've kind of pulled in all those things through the course of the summer. So let's get to the how-to. How can you plug in? Where do we need people? What's coming up that people can be involved? And so let's just kind of start right here. And this is the last week of this. And next Sunday morning is our college. What do we call it?
Collegiate Sunday.
Collegiate Sunday.
Day.
Is that the same day as the adoption?
Yeah.
Okay. So we got adoptions here next week too.
There you go.
All right. So talk to that for a few minutes.
Well, I'll just share with what it is. I mean, of course, Brother Chris is putting all these things together, but usually the first Sunday that school is actually in session, and of course that will be this next Sunday. We have what's called Collegiate Sunday, and basically, I mean, it's always a time of outreach. Like we'll have the kind of back to school kickoff kind of party thing at the BCM Tuesday night. The
luau.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. And so there at the luau, we'll hand out some flyers, different things, snow cones. Have a good time just reaching out to college students. And of course, even this morning, I mean, we had a good many college students this morning here. It was great to see those who are kind of moving into town. And so, but next week's kind of a time to connect with them. And so we're going to certainly encourage them to be here.
Right.
And Brother Chris will be reaching out to them and encourage them to be here. And then we'll have after the service, of course, we'll all try to wear our tech gear, collegiate gear. And then after the service Sunday morning, which next Sunday we have the Lord's Supper, too. So I mean, it's going to be a good time. So looking forward to that. I mean, we're not here to eat hors d'oeuvres or whatever. We're here to worship the Lord. But we're going to have a good time.
We're going to come to the Lord's table, and then we're going to go to a different table.
Right. That's right. We're going to come and worship. Right. And so anyway, we'll go across the street after service, and it'll be a time for us to just mix with the college kids. And I think it's going to have kind of tailgate type food. So I think we'll have hot dogs and chips and dips and things. It's going to be
awesome.
It's going to be a good time. And always with our Emmanuel folks, just a great time of fellowship.
Right.
And they will do, we'll be signing people up to adopt college students.
And,
and that just entails, kind of being there for them.
Yes.
Giving them your number.
Right.
Making sure, some of those relationships get pretty involved. They come and wash clothes at your house. Or you
help with student loans.
That's right.
It's big, You said that's right. I got you.
Help with student loans. Yeah. So, no, not the ones I adopted. I promise you. We're like terrible adopted parents, but anyway, we're not doing that. But sometimes just taking them out to eat or something every once in a while, just staying connected with them, checking on them, and being a resource sometimes for their parents who are far away.
That's right.
And so we'll have an opportunity to sign up for that and maybe connect with some students that way. It's just a really good time that kind of kicks off our school year here at Louisiana Tech.
Right.
And kicks off our outreach to students. And so that's going on next week, certainly.
And so I'm going to speak to a second about what we're doing with the youth.
Yeah.
And then like to switch back to you and kind of talk about the kids for a second. Then we'll move kind of through the calendar a little bit. So it's really cool. We graduated from our youth group, the most that we've ever graduated, regular attendees since I've been here. And so that was really neat. But I was telling Neil, it worried me, because in the last 2 years, we've lost some faithful ones.
That's right.
And so over the last 3 weeks, there's been some visitors here, and we've had some young people who seem, fairly excited
Yeah,
about being here.
about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that I talked to you and Brother Stephen about was dividing the Sunday school into a younger and an older group of teenagers. So I'm excited about that. We're going to kick that off next week. Next Sunday, we're going to have our younger group, and Mr. Troy and Miss Kelly Ketchum are going to be teaching them.
Yeah.
And then myself and Miss Candy will be with the olders. And what's going to happen is we're going to go through the book of Acts with some daily Bible reading, some memory verse recognition. On Sunday mornings, we'll be doing more of the exposition of the stories and then kind of what's God doing here. And then on Wednesday nights, we'll be doing more of the application of the stories, like how does this work in our lives? And that we'll sit down around tables, we'll read the scripture together, we'll ask ourselves some questions, and then we'll talk about that in class. And so I'm really excited about that. I will have donuts and things of that nature next Sunday morning.
Why didn't you lead with donuts?
Well, I wanted people to be like, no, I don't really want to do this. Then donuts.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
And so all the numbers are continuing to climb.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. On
That's
Facebook,
good.
we're at 14 right now.
Ooh,
So
man, these are masses.
right. So nobody's watching tonight. We can just do what we want to do.
What do you mean nobody? You got 14. It's 14.
Right. Yes.
I'm 12 apostles. I mean, the whole world. I mean, the gospel's gone out, to the whole world.
Thank you for my time.
There you go.
Yeah, good. I needed one tonight.
Yeah, well, I know, I'm going to give a shout out tonight. I know one person, I always pick and say that my mom's watching. I don't think my mom's ever watched one of these. I just say that, I'm just kidding. I don't think my mom
definitely ain't watching.
Yeah, she wouldn't watch that. Yeah, she's all at the beach.
Right.
Yeah, so she's not watching.
Yeah, Christina,
But
Lydia, none of them are watching.
But my mother-in-law, she watches every week.
She does.
Faithful.
Yes.
Miss Peggy,
Yes.
she's
She
watching.
is. Man,
So I know she's
really,
in that number.
That was really, really good.
Yeah, she's in that
was
number.
good.
And so that's coming up. And talking about our children's ministry, we have some great Sunday school teachers here.
Yes.
That are teaching our children. But also on Wednesday nights, our children are working through the New Life Catechism. Do I know? New City? Yeah. Sorry. New City Catechism.
No
Thank you, Brother Shad. I need some
welcome.
correction every once in a while. After the tongue lashing.
Well, I don't get many opportunities for it. So.
And so anyway, the New City Catechism, they've been working through that. They're getting close. In October, I think they'll come up to their year and actually have gone all the way through it.
That's awesome.
And then it'll be kind of starting again. And so a catechism, for those of you watching may not even know what that is. I mean, we have a church catechism here that we go through each week. We mention the question and answer for the week, but it is just a way of teaching doctrine, church doctrine through questions and answers.
Right.
And so it's just a really good time. Christina leads out in that. And then our younger kids are going through the biggest Bible storybook.
Right.
And so it is. And I love that. I read that every week when I meet with the after school kids that we have here on Thursday, and give them snow cones, and they sit down and we do one of those Bible stories. And I love the way that Bible story book, the way it goes through these Bible stories and connects the stories together and helps them see that all these things are preludes leading up to Christ. And then of course, after Christ, this is the gospel going to the nations, and it's really talking about God's redemption to the whole world. It's just awesome. And so it's really good. And so that's on, Wednesday nights at 6. And so we see those things happening. Of course, in October, we'll have our big fall fest. Yeah. It's like October the 19th, I think.
Yes. I think that's right.
I may be wrong, but that's coming up, and that's a church-wide thing.
Yes.
We'll be having sign-ups and things for booths and different things, for that. We have just a great time every year. That's
the gospel hayride.
The gospel hayride.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest events that we do that night.
I mean, it's a hayride, and they get to hear the gospel.
Right.
So, I mean, it's self-explanatory. It's good. So we have a good time with that. And I end up really hoarse, by the end of that. But it's fun. It's a really good time. And so, it's children's ministry things going on. But go ahead. Do you want to mention something else?
I want to ask you something to speak to. But
Yeah.
go ahead and say what you're saying first.
Well, I didn't want us to run past. We've got something else happening here in the next 2 weeks. We got a group going to Belize.
Oh, good.
We don't want to. We don't want to.
No.
That's something we need to be praying for. And so in Michigan,
and a really good group.
Oh yeah, I mean, a great group of folks. I think they're going to be they're going to be doing some construction things there. There's a group there in Belize that Brother Stephen and Miss Katie, they're kind of connected with, and going there to help them. And they're doing church planning and helping churches there. And so I think in the mornings, they're going to be doing some construction. And then the afternoons doing evangelism. They have access to a hospital there. They'll get to go in and visit there in the hospital. So it's just going to be a really good time.
I don't know what Miss Kim's going to do that week.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how she's going to make it.
I don't know.
Stephen gone.
I know.
So,
the boss is
we'll
away.
see. Right.
Hey.
Right.
So it's going to be a good time. But we need to pray for them.
No
doubt. They leave on the 13th.
No, yes.
So this coming Sunday, we'll have a moment where we ask them to come forward and pray for them because they'll be heading out that next week.
Right.
So those are like very imminent things. I mean, those are things that are coming up really soon.
Right.
And
so before you move totally off of the kids,
sure, absolutely.
I know Miss Amanda Martin. She's kind of done some things. She went to a school a few weeks ago, and we've had some really good reception as far as the after school. And you had mentioned reading, and that's what brought it up in my head. So just mention the preschool and the after school program and how things are going there.
The preschool, and it's really crazy that there's like over 100 kids here every day.
Right.
But it goes it's so seamless.
You really don't know.
Like I'm here every day.
Right.
I'm in and out.
Right.
At least here on the campus. And here we're talking about all these ministries of the church. We don't even mention the preschool.
Right. Well, we were tonight.
Well, I know. Yes. I know. We were getting to it. And I actually had something here about it.
My bad.
No, it's okay. But I mean, that's a huge deal.
It is.
It's a huge part of what happens here at the church. Of course, we have from the cradle group, 6 weeks old, babies coming, your wife's in that room.
Yes.
And then moving all the way up to after school, care for kids and that sort of thing. And so it's a lot happening.
I thought you were going to say. Do you want me to say it or no?
Well, probably. I mean, if there's a question, probably not. But
I thought you were going to say like during the week here we have like from the cradle to the grave.
That's not what I said.
What I thought.
Not.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Talking about in the preschool.
Right. I didn't know which route you were going, but yes.
Kids from infants.
Yeah, you're talking about just the preschool
through 5th, 6th.
Right.
Yeah. And so anyway, it's a really amazing ministry, that goes on here, and it's huge. In fact, on Tuesday, I reached out to some of the deacons about coming and helping. After Labor Day, that's when a lot of the kids move up and their classes, and stuff. And so Tuesday morning, we're going to be giving coffee and donuts to the parents, and stuff, just trying to connect with them, and so it's just a really, really good thing.
Yeah. All right, so we're kind of moving down the calendar now. We've talked about College Sunday, talked about the mission trip, kind of updated what's going on in some specific groups. So then we get into October, and we have am I wrong to say 75th?
75th. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So our 75th church anniversary, big deal.
Oh yeah.
So let's speak to that for a few minutes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we're one of the things that we know we can learn so much from church history,
right?
Certainly from Acts chapter
2,000 years ago,
2,000 years ago,
right.
From Acts chapter 2 all the way until today, and we go back and we see the ups and the downs in the Big C church, the church life, and all. But also in our church, it's formed here in 1950, and it was a church plant, not a church split. All right, it was a church plant from First Baptist Ruston out here to the country,
right?
I mean, literally, that's crazy.
All the way out
here, to reach those country folk. All right, out here on the edge of town.
Farmerville.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there was no interstate then, none of that. There's very little north of town. I mean, at all. This was country. I mean, this was cow pastures and stuff out here, And so, you think about that, and from very humble beginnings, beginning there at what is Ruston Elementary now. They had met there in the auditorium to the purchasing of this property here, this property here, acquiring it, and then beginning to build the building that we're actually in right now. Just behind the sanctuary was the first building built, and then the sanctuary and all those things. It's just to reflect back on 75 years of ministry right here in this town, the same place. Right. And so we're going to be doing some things this month, and this actually even kind of applies to the podcast a little bit.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to having a few conversations this month related to Emmanuel Baptist Church and different people's testimonies of interaction with Emmanuel. We're going to have some opportunities for folks in our church to give testimony to why they love Emmanuel.
Yeah.
All right. We don't have anybody that's been here 75 years. Right. All right. We got some been pretty close.
Yeah.
All right. Pretty close.
They're inching up to 75.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's some even that were very small children.
Right.
When they began. And so they're.
I hope they were very small children. So
anyway, let's leave it alone. Let's stop there. And so, anyway, it's going to be a really good month of those things. And so be looking for some things on the pod. Be looking for some things to Deliver Orthodoxy podcast. You like that? Use that little lingo there. The pod. The pod. Yes. Yeah, the pod.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have some, not live stream, but we're going to have some recorded videos where we're, I'm interviewing some different people who have been here down through the
That's
years.
cool.
People who have ministered here.
Right.
Those kind of things. And it's going to be a really good time. And then for our church members, you're going to have some opportunities. One of the things we're going to begin Sunday week, not this, probably this next Sunday, but the next, those last couple of Sundays, 3 Sundays before anniversary Sunday, we're going to have the little studio set up here, and people can have the opportunity to give just like a 20-30 second blurb of, why do I love Emmanuel?
Right. Yeah.
And so I think that'd be something that would be really great to show in our service, something that we could edit together and put together that would be a real encouragement to the church body.
Yeah.
One of the things, we had some visitors here visiting with us. They've been visiting with us now for a month or so. And one of the things that they testified about our church, they said, this is the friendliest church that we've ever been in.
Right.
And I think that's one of the strengths of Emmanuel.
No doubt.
In fact, I had a pastor friend of mine who's some of his family was here this morning.
Yeah.
And I texted him and just told him I got to meet your daughter. I got to meet these folks. She said we're coming. And he said, well, I talked to her and she said, that she enjoyed the service, but she also said, he said they made time to talk to me.
Yeah.
People, not just the pastor.
No.
Other folks. And so Emmanuel's just a loving church.
Like things that were going on before you ever got here.
This is part of the.
It's their DNA.
Yeah, this is part of the DNA of the church.
Yes.
I mean, it was this way when I got here. So and certainly that's a testimony to pastors and others that came before me. But it's just a testimony to what, it's just a testimony of Emmanuel, who they are.
Right.
And so we're going to be talking about some of those things. Be some opportunities to give testimony to that. And then, of course, on the 5th, we'll have, of course, we're going to have a big dinner on the grounds.
Right.
And not only that, but we're also going to have Dr. Hawley, who's the previous pastor who was here. A lot of people find it hard to believe that like his last Sunday was the Sunday before my first Sunday.
Right.
And that's crazy.
Right.
And to think about, and then people ask, well, how did that work? How long had you been here? 23. He had been pastoring here 23 years.
Right.
But he was so gracious, in that, and just deferred to me in so many ways that, and not because I asked for him to. I mean, that was just his heart. He wanted to see Emmanuel just do well,
right?
And he wanted to see me coming as pastor. He wanted to hand that off, and so it was just a real blessing,
right?
And so he's going to be here, and then also Brother Sam Wheat,
yes,
now he's going to be leading worship that day, and he has been a worship leader.
Right.
Now, he didn't lead worship here Sunday by Sunday, but he did do that from time to time.
And a much beloved figure.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Much beloved.
Yes.
Much beloved. Brother Sam, I'm telling you, he does have, I'm sure still, a servant's heart. And that man could cook.
Yeah, that's what you told me.
I'm telling you. He cooked some groceries.
Yeah.
Here at Emmanuel.
Yeah.
And both baked goods, other things. Anyway, just a really neat guy.
Yeah.
And such a huge impact his ministry had on our senior adults. And so we're looking forward to having him. It's just going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time.
Right. All right. So now hot seat.
All right. Hot seat.
Hot seat.
We're weeding out. We're getting down now.
And I've been watching the questions.
Yeah.
Mel wants to know if there are, Mel Handy wants to know if there are tours of the studio. Also would like to know, are there going to be chances to win the mug during the fall and spring? Man. Or is it just for sale only? So she wants to know those things. So we can speak to that at the end. There's been no hard-hitting questions as of yet. So that's kind of where we are right now.
All right.
But so right now,
okay,
you are working through the Old Testament Genesis figures.
Mm-hmm.
How do these people connect to the Christ?
Yes.
And then connect us in faith, right? Do you know where you're going next?
Well, Lord will.
How much longer will you be here and where you're going next?
All right. Well, I'm going to be preaching. I'm going to preach 4 more messages.
Right.
On the life of Joseph.
Okay.
And we're not going to be, there's a lot of juicy stuff that happens in these 14 chapters.
It's funny that you use that phrase.
Yeah,
with what's all going on right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really awkward.
Well, there's
no, it's right.
In the scriptures.
No doubt.
Right, there's some scandalous
things
that happen
they're
in the life of Joseph,
yes.
and not by his own doing.
No.
But there's some scandalous things that happen in his life and then the life of his family. I mean, just the story of Judah. We're not going to get into that. But the way
you like to say these things,
kind of throw them out
yeah.
there.
Judah, what happened with Judah?
Maybe you ought to read.
I've never read the book of Genesis
Maybe read
before.
Genesis 38.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But anyway, there's so many just really interesting parts of the life of Joseph and that story. But what we've been looking at is we walk through Genesis. We're looking at moments when God comes through, when we see the salvation of the God of Israel.
Right.
All right. And so these are things because we want to see what did God do then? How did that encourage or inform the Israelite nation that received it? And then how can we, so this next week we'll be looking at, Lord willing, again, Joseph's interactions with Pharaoh, his first interactions with Pharaoh when he interprets Pharaoh's dreams and all that God was doing, in that, his exaltation, there in that way. And then we'll look at his, some of his interactions with his brothers, a couple of different things there. And then ultimately, of course, ending there in Genesis 50 with, Genesis 50, with the, his pronouncement that we referenced this morning, as his brothers come to him and they're and he says, what you meant for evil, God meant for good.
Right.
And so that's kind of where we're going over the course of next month.
Okay.
Now on October the 12th, Lord willing, we'll begin a study in 1 Corinthians.
Ooh. Also juicy.
Yes, that's there. There's some scandalous things that are happening in the church at Corinth.
Right.
Okay. But through it all, First Corinthians, of course, is very long.
Yes.
But it's also extremely practical and rich.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
In terms of instruction to the church and how we should treat one another.
Yes.
How we should worship. All these things are
how we shouldn't treat one another.
And how we shouldn't worship.
Yes. And stepmothers.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Right. Yeah.
Again, why you always,
you do it?
Oh, me? Really?
Oh, go read Genesis 38, babe.
Well,
yeah. So
1 Corinthians 3. Yeah. So anyway, there's a lot there.
Right.
And certainly on. So we'll begin that. Of course, we'll take a little break at Christmas.
Right.
And we will talk about the prophecies of the coming Lord. Then. And then
I thought you were going to talk about Revelation. Thought you were going to go to Revelation.
The first time he came, not the second coming.
Okay.
But we will get there.
Switch it up.
We will get to 1 Corinthians 15.
I keep waiting
eventually.
For you say we'll get there.
Well, we will get there. I mean, eventually, Lord willing.
Right.
Probably in a couple of years. But
I'm ready to answer some questions.
All right. Yeah. So there's a lot of things.
Right.
To answer.
Yes.
So it's going to be. I'm really looking forward to preaching 1 Corinthians. And
yes,
and of course, I mean, honestly, when we look at the epistles is a little bit easier preaching in some ways because it's so direct,
right?
But it's so dense, it's so dense, and so it lends itself to verse by verse exposition, and so I'm really looking forward to that.
Right, and then on Sunday nights we'll start that. We'll kick that off next Sunday night. Actually, that's why we won't be here any longer.
That's right.
Brother Sherwin will be preaching 3 weeks on Bible interpretation or hermeneutics, just kind of how do we lay out what the Bible is talking about, how do we approach it, how do we conclude things on it, and then the third week he'll actually preach the narrative of the Old Testament, kind of the meta narrative of the Old Testament. Awesome. The last week of September I'll do the meta narrative of the New Testament, and then we'll dive into Matthew the first week in October, and then kind of work through a New Testament survey with different men in our church, speaking to those things from week to week. And, we've talked about this interpretation. Now we're going to apply it on a grander scale of the book so that when we read the book, we can have these little divides.
That's right.
So
it's going to
I don't know if you want to say anything to that.
Well,
add anything to that.
I don't think there's anything much to add.
Right.
I think that with taking each book that way, we're going to see, okay, when was this book written?
Right.
Who wrote it?
Right.
Why was it written in terms of what's the central message and those things? So it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
All right. So we do have a question.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And when I say real quick, Adam's been asking all these questions on Mel's phone. I don't know why he's not using his phone, but I think he's trying to win another mug.
No, we got to watch him on those mugs. They don't need to sit.
But this is a genuine question.
All right.
What role does Christian apologetics play on regions like ours, where there is a strong Christian influence? He didn't do that. I did.
Yeah.
Like Ruston, is apologetics divisive or harmful to the local church?
I certainly don't think it's divisive
Right.
or harmful to the
Right.
local church. I think that now the only thing that I would say, sometimes certain people are drawn to different types of evangelism and those kind of things,
Right.
and those that are more intellectual, those that are more deep thinkers.
Right.
All right. We have to be very careful that we don't puff ourselves up,
Right.
in knowledge and those
Right.
kind of things.
Yes.
And in that way, it can be.
Yeah.
I certainly would say so. But in terms of how do we use apologetics, like in Ruston,
Yeah.
I think one of the things here in Ruston, I mean, we do have. Well, this is a college town,
Yes.
and so we can pretend that everyone we meet, believes that the world was created in 7 days
Right.
or 6 days. That we can pretend
Right.
that there's no one that we encounter
Right.
that holds to a Big Bang theory, or those kind of things. That there are no atheists or and those kind of things, or Gnostics.
Yeah.
Excuse me, agnostics.
Right,
Those.
yes.
Sorry, not Gnostics. But there's probably some Gnostics too. But they don't go by that name. But anyway, and there's a lot of people that we encounter who have sort of a religiosity,
Right.
and so they don't even know
Right.
that they don't know the Lord.
Yeah. They don't.
Like they think
Yeah.
that they know the Lord,
And they've been taught, not everybody in Ruston,
no,
but they've been taught a version of Christianity that them knowing the Lord can fit into.
yeah, and
in some ways.
and very oftentimes they haven't been taught it; they've caught it.
Okay. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah,
It's
right.
sort
Right.
of
Right.
this-
Right.
They've been
Right.
acculturated. I don't know what you would call it, indoctrinated,
Right. Yes.
into this sort of culture, a Christian culture
Yes.
that's not really Christian,
Right.
and so they don't know the gospel.
Yeah.
They don't really understand the atonement,
Mm-hmm.
all right, propitiation. That,
Right.
that Christ's blood literally paid the price.
Yeah.
That we've been redeemed. Those kind of things. They don't comprehend that, and so a lot of times in this Christian culture,
Right.
I think that apologetic,
Mhm.
or apologetics is we all give a reason for the faith that we have, and we certainly give a defense of the actual genuine faith
Right.
of the gospel, and people that we encounter and we talk with, I always, I pick about, or I talk about, talking to someone saying, do you believe if you were to die today, do you believe God will let you in his heaven?
Right.
And they say, well, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or I think so, or hope so.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why? Why do you think? Well, I'm a pretty good person.
Right.
And that person would call themselves a Christian generally.
Right.
All right. In our area.
Yeah.
Now, if you were in Minnesota or
Right.
somewhere else, that person might just say, well, yeah, I'm a pretty good person.
Right.
Well, they wouldn't call themselves a Christian.
No.
They just think, oh,
I'm a
works-based.
moral person.
I'm a moral
Yes,
person.
Right.
And so they're really
Yeah.
thinking of something that's probably more like Eastern mysticism in terms
Right.
of, okay, well, karma,
Yes,
whatever,
right.
I'm going to get there, those kind of things. But here we use that apologetic. We give, okay, well, what are you basing that on?
Yeah.
And we begin to ask those questions
Mm-hmm.
that reveal their lack of true understanding of the gospel, and reveal their very man-centered, work-centered,
Right.
belief about salvation.
Yeah.
And then, then there's just normal apologetics
Right.
that we're doing with people who would say there's no God.
Yeah.
Or would be more agnostic, those kind of things.
Right.
And there's plenty of those folks around here.
Right. That's right.
They're everywhere. And certainly in a town like ours, a college town, there's plenty of that. And not to mention Muslims, not
Yeah,
to mention,
right.
Jehovah's Witnesses,
Yeah.
not to mention Mormons. We think we're right here in Ruston, and we just don't have any of those. Well, that's because you're
Right.
not looking.
That's right.
You haven't opened your
Yes.
eyes.
Yes.
And
You
look.
live in this bubble, and
That's right. And praise God, you've
Yeah.
got a lot of good
You're
Christian
content,
friends.
happy.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So
Well, and I would say this: our teaching fellow, I have heard him say,
yeah.
I have heard him say before that you are always, when you identify yourself as a Christian,
Yes.
you're always offering an apologetic
Yes.
about who you
Yes.
believe God is.
Mhm.
So, but is it an educated
Yes.
apologetic,
Yes,
or is it a negative, detracting
that's right.
apologetic?
And that's based both upon your verbal witness,
Right.
and then also your behavior,
Right.
your character.
Right.
And so, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and make up more stuff, Brother Paul.
No. We've
You
been
know?
about 45 minutes
Yeah,
in. It's about
yeah,
time to land
right.
the plane. So now we have these
That's
other
what
questions.
everybody said. You get to those big finales,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, I can't wait. And then they're like, God, it's just ended.
Yeah, I know. It's time.
Yeah.
It's time. So
Yeah.
we do have a couple questions from
Oh, do
Bill. I know.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, we
yes.
don't wanna forget.
No, answer. And they were really from Adam.
I know.
Incognito
I know.
on Mel's
Yeah,
home.
he likes to kind of go
Right.
fly under
Right.
the radar.
Now, let me say this while we're talking about Adam. As Tech won 24-0
Yeah.
last night, Do you know that Adam was a
Uh,
guest coach on the field?
Yeah, I heard. They may bring him on. I mean, if I were,
They didn't score
if I were
24
Sonny,
points
that's what
last
I'm
year.
saying. If I was Sonny Comer, I might would, you know,
Right.
tell him,
Right.
hey, man, let's
Yeah.
make this permanent.
That's right.
Give him a little bump
Right.
in. I'm pretty sure those coaches probably make a little more than the tech veterinarian.
I'm pretty sure that's
What
true.
do you think? You
Yeah,
think
I'm
so?
pretty sure that's
I
true.
think he got a little more to
Is
work
there a
with.
stipend for being
That's
the coach
right.
last
That's
night?
right. I think you ought to receive
Right.
one.
Right.
And I did hear also when they were, you know, kind of shouting him out, you know, that in his bio there it said he was a proud member of maybe not proud, he probably didn't say proud, member of
Right.
Emmanuel.
I go to
Church.
Emmanuel Baptist Church. Yeah. Right.
So he's, hey,
Right.
serious. That's good.
That is.
That's good.
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Mel wants to know, will there be tours?
Well, Mel, you know, when you let somebody behind the veil
Right.
and let them see the
Right.
inner workings, very often I'm afraid
Yeah.
that it might I'm afraid that we give away some trade secrets.
Right.
You know, some things that
And
you know,
sometimes
yeah.
behind the veil is not what we think of it as. Sometimes behind the veil is like a workshop.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
A
I don't,
storage room.
yeah, and also all she's got to do is just open the right door and she can have her own tour of the
Right.
studio.
She
here,
can
so
take her own
she can
tour.
take her own tour. Just open
That's
the door.
right. That's right. Yes.
All right.
All right. And then the other question
right.
dealt with the mugs.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
are we going to give out these mugs periodically? Maybe a raffle during the Sunday morning service?
No,
or
we're not doing that.
Okay.
No, we're not.
I didn't think you
I
probably would
this.
go for that.
I hold to the regular principle.
I figured that would
Much
probably
the
be at your
raffles.
chagrin.
No, yeah, in
Yeah.
the service, yeah.
Are we going to give opportunities? Are they going on sale?
All right. The mugs, from time to time, we'll give away a mug. You know, we give the mugs to get. See, these mugs are special. All right. And we don't want them to lose their value.
Right.
All right. And there is also one donor who gives to the mugs. And so I'm pretty sure.
Which we will refrain
Which will
from
remain.
naming.
He'll remain
Yes,
anonymous.
he will remain anonymous.
He'll remain nameless.
Right.
This donor that gives to the mugs.
Right.
And so we don't want to put the mugs on. This is a nonprofit enterprise, as Brother Shadwell knows.
Right.
All right. This is a nonprofit enterprise. And so the mugs will continue to be sort of an award, you know, to those who watch faithfully.
Come on Sunday nights.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm just going to let you know,
mm-hmm.
if a certain person wins tonight,
yes,
I'm doing a touchdown dance around
all
the room.
right, there you go. All right, if they win,
If a certain person wins, it is a touchdown dance
All right.
around the room.
and this person's not in your family,
And I'm no.
you have one of these at your house.
Yeah, we
I
took
saw
one.
it.
We took
I
one.
saw
Yeah,
it.
we
you
took
just
one.
took one.
I'm
There
going
you
to
go.
spike something on this table to the floor.
Like,
The
no.
mug,
Yeah,
the
not the
mic,
ball.
my phone. I'm spiking. I'm Gronk spiking
All
something.
right,
to
all
the
right.
floor.
If they win,
Yeah.
if they win,
So here we go.
All right.
Someone said they want. I don't know if this is Adam or Mel.
yeah,
They don't want to buy the mug. They want to earn it.
There you go. That's a better
That
way.
sounds like Coach Adam.
Yeah, it does sound like Coach.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's more
right.
like Coach speak.
Right.
is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so the time has come. It's really time for us to
Yes.
shut this thing. All right, come on, Mia.
I promise.
Or,
I'm
All
running
right,
around.
so here we go.
All right. I'm like
right.
at the dunk contest.
All right, here we go. So
Mia,
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
shake
pick.
it up. Let's shake it up. All right, now Mia, they're gonna see your hand come in here, so they know it's not mine. You're gonna choose one. All right, let me see. Let me see. Kim Baker. Kim Baker. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Mia.
Miss Kim, you really won. We did not cheat. That brother Paul tried for the last 2 hours to cheat.
Yeah, he's
And
been
brother
trying
Paul
to twist
would
my
not
arm.
let me.
No,
He
no.
will not live in the grave for anyone. And so
I'm sorry. I
So-
come from a long line of
Right,
legalists. You know,
right,
I know.
yes.
We are. We have,
very, very legalistic.
we do have this freedom in Christ. We
Right.
have freedom to cheat
Yes. No.
and to lie. You
No.
know, there you go.
Only God can work through election, not us.
Well, that was
We tried.
That was his sovereign.
I
choice.
tried.
There you
So
go. It's like casting lots.
I'm
into
so
the
man.
light.
I'm so pumped.
Well, that's
Woo!
good. All right. All right.
Yes.
Well, God bless y'all. Y'all have a great week, and certainly look forward to seeing you Wednesday, Sunday when we see you. God
Love
bless
you guys.